Light on the set. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hi, I'm Ed Salek, and this is a special show we're doing. Let's say it's a show about what happens when a grandfather and a grandson get to have a conversation. Now, I happen to be fortunate enough that my grandson Finn is with me. He came to see me for Father's Day, and he's with his dad and his mom. And we decided we'd just do this thing. So, welcome, Finn.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Doing?
Yeah.
You're in school?
Yeah, I'm in Louis Armstrong Middle School. It's probably it's actually one of the best in New York City. So I was very happy to get in, and it was kind of complicated because 500 kids applied for the 5th grade in the middle school, but only 150 got in, and I was happy because out of 500 kids, I was only 1 out of 150 to get one of those seats, and I have lots of new friends in my school, and I'm very happy.
Now
there.
tell us about Louis Armstrong School. What kind of a school is it?
It's a musical and arts school, and it's where pretty much most kids, they either go to LaGuardia, and there's an art elective, which is when you would go to LaGuardia.
That's a high school though, right? LaGuardia?
Yeah. And then if you pick music elective, and you do the audition for chorus, or you're in band or orchestra, you have a better chance of getting into Frank Sinatra, because from my school, those are mostly what the kids apply for in 8th grade, because those are good schools, but they're also very hard to get into.
Right. And you're a drummer, right?
Yeah.
Tell me, how'd you become a drummer? Why?
Okay, the reason why is because it's also a little bit genetic. My mom and my dad were in a band in high school, and my mom played the drums, so I inherited the ability to play the drums.
I know Dad is a great guitar player.
Yeah, he practices
You
20
play
minutes a
guitar
day.
also?
No, I just stick with the drums, but I have been learning in my music class how to play the basics of guitar, piano, and right now we're learning a xylophone. So it's complicated, surprisingly.
Now, out of all of the music thing, who's one of your favorite groups?
It's hard to say, but I gotta say the David Brubeck Quartet. Because I gotta say.
So you're into jazz then?
Yeah, I really like jazz, and plus, it was also the first song I ever heard after I was born. My dad picked the song Take 5 by the David Brubeck Quartet, and I just liked it as soon as I heard it, and I still love it to this day.
Yeah. Yeah, I was very fortunate. I got to see him live in Holland.
That's lucky.
Very big into jazz, and that was a long time ago. I'm talking about in 1963 I saw him.
Man.
So he's been around a long time, you know?
Yeah.
Why is the drummer important? You told me that you felt that the drummer was the most important part of a group.
Yeah, and the reason why is because they're the timekeeper of a song. And I saw this movie called That Thing You Do. It's based on a band called The Wonders. And they're a minor band, and they become famous, and then they break up because of this drummer. But he started playing it from slow to fast. And they were at a college, and they were in a competition to win $100. And they won, but it was because the drummer went faster instead of the song That Thing You Do, playing it slow, because not as much people would have liked it. And at the end of that little concert, the bass player said, I like the way you play this song, but try to stick to the way that I do it, because the drummer is the timekeeper and the main person in a band, because if they slow down or speed up, everybody else around them, the bass player, guitar player, they have to speed up or slow down with them.
And even the vocalists have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's very complicated, but it's always worth it.
Yeah. And when you go to classes at the Louis Armstrong School?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a famous baseball player, right? No, I'm only kidding.
I know.
Satchmo was a great horn player.
Yeah.
So you take regular classes and then you take music, right?
Yeah, we only have music one time a week, which is Monday for the 2nd period. And then we have all of our normal subjects, science, technology, engineering, and math. Then we have ELA, social studies, science, math, and all the other classes like art. So I love the school. It's definitely one that people should try, like, to encourage their kids to apply for, because even though they accept 5th grade, they also do 6th grade, and which is probably not the best time to apply, because when you hit 6th grade, you're gonna have a lot of new kids coming into your class.
Right.
And if you're in 5th grade, you already know the building, so there's nothing new for you to learn except your 6th grade curriculum.
No, you said they just had a celebration. What was that celebration about?
It's actually the first time they've ever done this for any class. It's called the 5th grade graduation, but it's more of like, as they said, a moving up celebration. From 5th grade, you're actually going to be into middle school, which is the 6th grade. And this is the first time they've ever done it, so we got fortunate. And they served us ice cream, they had games outside, and then we also had the parent-teacher association, the PTA.
Right.
They set up the whole event, and my mom was part of the PTA, so I was very grateful for what they did, which was amazing. And everybody had a great time.
So I know I heard you talking to our director about the wall. What was that wall?
Oh, it's for the 6th grade complex on the 4th floor in Complex B. That's where I'm going to be next year, and probably for 8th and 7th grade also. That wall mural is a combination of different, maybe animated shows. If I remember correctly, that wall had maybe The Simpsons. They had Lisa, Bart, Homer, and Marge, and even Maggie. They had their heads painted on in different sections. Then they might have a Japanese show character on there, and they even had 2 characters from South Park, Cartman and Kyle, it's just great to look at, because every day it just reminds you of what you might watch at home and what you might like. So it's always a good thing to look at, and whenever I look at it, I think today is a new day, because every day you have a new chance to do something that you have never done before.
That's great. It really is great.
Yeah.
Now, besides school, you have other things in your life. Karate?
Yeah, karate is... Let me just say, every Friday we have a conditioning class with the sensei, or the master's son, which is a senpai, the master's assistant. And there's something called the shinai. It's bamboo that's tied together using sort of like bungee cords, but also rubber bands. And it's built this in a structured way where it's made to use to condition your legs and your stomach.
Right.
So there's something called 6 inches where you're within a body position where you're on the floor, you have your hands under your legs to support, and you would have your legs 6 inches off the ground, where you first learn leg raisers, where you would raise your legs.
Right.
And then at that position, you would get whacked in the stomach because your hands are under your back, which is actually kind of a good thing, but it's also a bad way, because you can't have a way to protect yourself from the shinai. But still, you're not really supposed to do that. And I'm now a advanced green belt on the 23rd, and next Saturday I'm going to get my brown belt, which is only 2 belts away from black, but it's also a 4-hour promotion. So I think it would be fighting, and we have gear for that, strategy for combat. And then after all of that, and the 4 hours ends, you would have your belt, your new belt, and then you would have a very happy moment, because it's a new level that you're moving up to, and there's new things to learn. There's something called kata. It's, as I said, combat strategy. It's where if your opponent uses a sequence of attacks, you have a kata to remember certain strikes and blocks to defend yourself, or even to protect yourself by fighting, which is a good thing. And I'm already on Pinon 4, which Pinon also means peace and harmony. And there's a meaning to it, which means the peace would be inner peace. Like you would have to gain strength and calm yourself to be able to do it, like slowly and perfectly. And then the harmony is around you, the noise. You would channel out the noise to make sure you have more inner peace than you do with the noise. So it's a good thing to like take from, but I gotta say, it's probably the best way you could defend yourself. And it's painful within the way of promoting. So I've been doing this for, I think, 6 years because it's my 6th belt. I started when I was 4, and I really don't regret it. I gotta say, I've gained much more strength.
You enjoy this?
Yeah, I actually really do enjoy this. Even if I get hit, I deal with it and I get stronger within that time. So every time I'm on a Friday class for a conditioning class, I think I'm gonna get hit, but the best part of it is I'm gonna get stronger at the end. And I might have a cramp in my leg, but I get used to it after a while. So I'm always happy for what I do, and I'm always there for what I do.
It's a good thing. It's a very good
Thank
thing. Yeah. You're still a baseball fan?
Yeah, I still like baseball. I was in Little League for a while. My team almost made it to the championships. We played our first playoff game and we lost. But I gotta say, the first year, to be truthful, my team was terrible. We had a group of kids who would never appear for the game, so we would always have to forfeit,
Right.
which was not fun, but I still did become an all-star player. But it wasn't for the right reason. Like, I wasn't really an all-star player, but I would hit the ball, I would catch the ball. It was fun, but not fun, because we would always forfeit, as I said.
Yeah.
And we never made it to the playoffs. So, and then I tried for my second year. We had a really good team. Some of these kids were really experienced, so it was a good thing. We had a kid named Xavier who could hit a home run, and even for a Little League field, those are pretty big. So they're hard to hit home runs in. And what happens if you hit a home run, you get your name on a plaque on a little statue, like sort of a box. And you would have your name under home run, grand slam, or goals, right? Because they also, FHYAA, Forest Hills Youth Association. They have also soccer and basketball. And it's hard to score goals because they usually have the biggest kids
Right.
inside of these goals. About, they're pretty big, but they're also hard to shoot into because you're also diving for the ball, jumping, moving left, right, and it's hard. So they would put your name on a plaque, which is a very honored thing, but I really think you should always have a great reason to do it. Let's say you have a dead member in your family and you want to remember them in a special way. Maybe you'll say to yourself, this is for my grandmother, and you would hit the ball, and if you get a home run, you would always remember, I did this for her, so it would always be special
Yeah.
if you did that. And I think he did that once, and he just thought about doing it for someone on the team or one of our coaches. We usually did it for the coaches, but he was always an all-star, and we knew he was going to become an all-star. So I thought it was a good time. I was happy we made it to the playoffs, but still we lost, but we lost with dignity.
Okay. Now, who's your favorite baseball team from the major leagues?
Gotta say, since they're like the stadium's 10 minutes away, Citi Field, the Mets.
Yeah, I know you used to walk to the stadium with your daddy.
Yeah. We also used to, now we take the train because of parking.
Yeah.
It's always crowded, so we usually take the train because they have the train that goes straight into the stadium and then you walk off.
Who's your favorite Met?
I gotta say, personally, Jacob deGrom, and they also call him Thor as a joke almost because his hair is as long as the original Thor character from the Marvel comic book universe, and I thought that was a good name to give him because he kind of has the same hair,
Yeah.
as I said.
Yeah. No, but they never get any runs for him either. He pitches great, and they
Pitches great. He's pretty good at batting. Well, all of them are. Well, they are professional.
yeah.
But still, he's good at batting, good at pitching, and I think he has a good reason to become a all-star player.
You still like your superheroes?
Yeah, I gotta say, I still like them, but even once in a while I might go to Comic-Con every year. But I also like Comic-Con because,
What is Comic-Con?
Comic-Con is a comic book convention that they usually hold in the Javits Center every October. So since it's around Halloween, everybody would have their costumes ready. And some people go way out and they'll build homemade costumes that are absolutely insane, but really good. We went last year, and again, I saw Bob Camp, the creator of the Ren and Stimpy show, which I actually love because it's really funny. And last year he gave me a free picture that he signed in my name, which I thought was really nice because I've been seeing him every year, and my mom calls me a stalker, but I'm not. He actually remembers me some of the time.
Your mom called you a stalker?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. I just meet him every year because he remembers me every time, which I think is awesome to know someone who's famous. And he's great with his fans. He will pretty much, you might talk to him and you might be there for a half an hour, 40 minutes, just talking about maybe the show or some of his comic book designs, which was awesome. Then there's also one day, they told like these sort of like conferences, and you get to ask questions to really famous people. They had Adam West, the Batman 66 TV show. He did Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And he was there before he died. And I thought,
just died recently.
Yeah, he did. I was kind of heartbroken because I loved the Batman 66 show. But when I saw him, I was going to ask him a question, but we ran out of time. And I wanted to go see if I could go backstage, but of course I couldn't because I didn't have a backstage pass. You could purchase one, but those were like $70 each, so I didn't really think I should get one of those because those tickets are hard to get because they sell out quickly. But yeah, every year I save up some money and I go buy what I want to buy. And we would spend maybe the whole day there. And it would just be so much fun because we would spend time walking around looking at all these amazing costumes and also meet people. Last year I also met Stan Lee and I got to take a picture with him. And when
Who was Stan Lee?
Oh, he was the creator, or at first co-creator, of the Marvel Universe with Iron Man, Spider-Man. And the creator was Jack Kirby, and they were close friends. But when Jack Kirby passed away, Stan Lee took over the company, and he created Spider-Man, Captain America. And once I found out, I was reading comic books since I was like 3, and once I found out about them, I was like, okay, I'm just going to stick with reading these. And then I found out about Comic-Con, and there I was every year, just there.
I guess you're going to be going back again next year, right?
Yeah, also this year. It's so nice.
Oh, this year too?
Yeah. The tickets may get more expensive each year, but it's always worth it just to spend a day there. They also make 4-day passes, which I think are $200 each per person. But it's also, you get to go for 4 days straight. But not many people purchase those. But yeah, so I just love, and I have a good passion for comic books, which I love.
Oh. Now let me ask you something. Let's say a new kid moves into your neighborhood or your school.
Yeah.
And he comes up to you and he says, how do I behave? How do I survive? How do I be a good person in this school? What would you advise him?
I would advise him to stick to the rules instead of like trying to do something you're not supposed to do. Like they say no running in the halls, and there's a good reason for that. We have disability kids in our school and they're walking in wheelchairs or they're walking on walkers because they have like problems. And that's a good reason not to run, and also because teachers and the kids, you could also run through them and knock them over, which recently happened to my friend who has a disability, Ryan. His aide who helped him, her name is Miss Sherry, she fell because a kid pushed her and she broke her wrist because of that kid. But he just ran off after she fell because I don't even think he noticed. So that's why I would say always stick to the rules. Don't try to do something that's not what you're supposed to do, and you'll be fine. Especially in my Louis Armstrong Middle School, and plus they take bullying very seriously. Like if you bully, you get sent to the dean, and if you continue doing it after the dean, there's something called Project Safe. It's something that's like summer school, except you're not learning. You would spend your whole day in one room, and you would leave for either bathroom or water and to eat. That's it.
Really?
Yeah, which I try to stay out of. Plus, I don't really bully, so.
Yeah, well, bullying is never a good thing.
Never a good thing.
It's
a lot of people say, and even my dad has told me this, bullies usually bully because they either have no friends and they don't get enough attention. So they want the attention, and they, instead of thinking, oh, people will like me if I bully them, they're afraid of them and they don't want to go near them, so which could make it worse. And I take that as words of wisdom.
Your dad told you that?
Yeah. Your son.
So is it difficult with your dad being an assistant principal in another school? Does he stay on top of you about your schoolwork and everything?
No, not exactly. He'll like check that I did my homework and it's in the right position for going into school. Like that's what I mean by the right position. But no, he's not usually on top of me like 24/7. But he will check once in a while, like, did you do your homework? If I ask to watch television, I'll show it to him. Then he'll say you could go watch television for a little bit. But even as an assistant principal, he's usually busy all the time, and he might have some work after. But still, we get to spend some time together over the weekends and even at home.
How do you feel sitting here talking to your grandfather?
It felt good. I gotta say, I loved it.
Do you love this? Do you love doing this?
Yeah, I like
you like
it.
being on camera, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought I would have been nervous at first. I'm actually not, so happy. It's great.
Where are you going to go from here now? When you go to 6th grade next, right?
Yeah. Which we also, there's another day, it was where you get to meet all the 6th grade teachers, go up to one room. There's different sessions. There's right after school at 3:30, then there's 5:30, and then there's 7:30, which most people went to 5:30 because it was a decent time to go in the middle of the day. I went at 5:30 with my mom, and they explained the expectations, what you have to bring every day to each class, and they introduced themselves, which was good because now you know what you can do and what you can't do.
Okay.
And your expectations.
Now, how about high school? When you get to that point where you're going to go to high school, where would you want to go to high school?
I would say Frank Sinatra because it's actually, I was in the school play, Elf Jr., what we did this year. And if you were in the play and you're on the set design team, you were allowed to go on a trip with the whole cast and the director of the play to go see a musical. And this year we went to Frank Sinatra to see a play called Ragtime, which I think was a movie, which it probably was.
Yeah, it was a movie.
Yeah, it's a great story, and there's a great background information. And it's also, when they have Rosa Parks in the movie, they have her like striking with a lot of other people.
Right.
Which it has a lot to do with history in a certain time era where immigrants were coming in. And I loved the play because Frank Sinatra, they make it so realistic. If there's fog and there's a scene where they're working in a clock tower and there's lots of smoke and fog coming up from the movie, they do the exact same thing in to play. They have fog machines that spray the fog, and it would look very realistic. And they would build everything by hand. They even have metal bars that like help support certain parts in the scene,
Right.
like when you're seeing it from heaven, or and you're just seeing them walk across, but the people on the stage don't see them, and they would focus on the other part that they're doing, which is really impressive. And I'm just hoping to get in there once I get to 8th grade, because even though a lot of kids apply, it's still a great school, and I liked it.
I'm sure you'll get there because
Yeah.
you persevere. If you wanted to get into Louis Armstrong
Yeah.
middle school, and you did,
Yeah.
and when you were in this music, did you play with the band in the school?
No, you're allowed to go into orchestra, band, general music, or chorus in 6th grade, and then once you're in 7th grade, you have to select between this an art elective or a music elective, and if you pick one of those, you stay in one of those. Or you could pick an option where it's like both, where you have both 2 times a week. So you'd have music 2 times, then art 2 times.
Oh.
And me and my friend Tyler and Nicholas Fabiatos, that's his full name, and Tyler Garcia is also my friend. Me and my friend Tyler Garcia, we want to go into band because he plays guitar a little bit and he knows piano because of his sister. And my friend Nicholas wants to go into general music because he plays electric guitar. And I had this kind of funny conversation with him. He was like, I want to play electric guitar in general music and not the band. I was like, well, what's the difference? If you know how to play one guitar, you could play any other guitar. He was like, no, I don't know how to play acoustic. I'm like, there's really no difference, except you're not really using an amplifier.
Exactly.
And he was just like, oh. So I was laughing pretty hard. So was my friend Tyler. And I've had really good times at that school, so I am going to miss it once I move on to high school.
Well, you stay there and enjoy it for now.
Yeah,
while you're
I
there.
got 3 more years.
Wow.
This
Well-
is probably the best 3 years of my life.
I thank you for spending the time talking to me.
You're welcome.
And we don't even get time to talk like this when we're at home. You
Yeah.
know, it's so much other things going on with the family and everything.
Yeah.
So I particularly enjoyed this. You made me
so
feel
did I.
very good doing this show.
So did I.
Well, you've been watching a conversation between a grandfather and a grandson.
Yeah.
And my grandson Finn, my buddy, well, when we get off camera, I'll hug and kiss him instead. But thank you for watching, and thank you for giving us a great conversation.
You're welcome.
Okay.